My flight got canceled in Chicago O'Hare International Airport because of a storm rolling in from the west. By the time the airline handed out vouchers, every decent hotel nearby was booked. The only option left was a place called the Hallbrook Inn. I remember the woman at the desk hesitating before saying, "It's available." That should have been enough for me to walk away. The building looked older than everything around it. Not vintage, just worn. The lobby smelled faintly like damp carpet and something metallic underneath. The receptionist, a middle-aged woman named Karen, didn't make eye contact while checking me in. "Room 417, she said, sliding the key card over. "Elevators to your left." No smile. No enjoy your stay. Just silence. I got into the elevator, and that's when the first strange thing happened. There were 5 floors listed on the panel, but only 4 buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5. But above the panel, scratched faintly into the metal, I could see the outline of a missing button. I told myself it was nothing. Room 417 was at the end of a long hallway. The lights flickered slightly as I walked. Every door looked the same, but something about the silence felt wrong, too heavy, like the building was holding its breath. When I got inside, the room looked normal. A bed, a TV, a desk. Old but clean enough. I dropped my bag and checked the bathroom. That's when I noticed the mirror. There was a faint handprint on it. Not unusual, except it was on the inside, like someone had pressed their hand against the mirror from behind. I wiped it off, quickly, feeling stupid for even noticing. Around midnight, I turned off the lights and tried to sleep. That's when I heard it. A dull thud directly above me. I looked at the ceiling. Another thud. Slower this time. Thud, pause, thud. It sounded like someone walking. Heavy footsteps. But there wasn't supposed to be a floor above me. I was on the 4th floor. The top floor. I grabbed my phone and checked the hotel listing again. 4 floors. That's what it said. The footsteps continued for a few minutes, then stopped. Silence. I finally drifted off sometime after 1 a.m. Then I woke up again. 3:17 a.m. My phone screen lit up the room, just enough for me to see the outline of the ceiling. And the sound came back. But this time, it wasn't footsteps. It was dragging. Something being pulled slowly across the floor above me. A long scrape, then a pause, then another. I sat up in bed, completely awake now. "Hello," I called out without thinking. The sound stopped instantly. Dead silence. And then, a soft knock. Not from above. From my door. 3 slow taps. I froze. No one should be knocking at that hour. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Another 3 knocks. This time a little louder. I forced myself out of bed and walked slowly toward the door. My hand hovered over the handle, but something felt off. There was no shadow under the door. No movement. No light change. Nothing. Still someone had knocked. I leaned and put in my ear close to the door. And that's when I heard it. Breathing. Slow. Uneven. Right on the other side. I stepped back immediately. "Who is it?" I asked. No response. Just that breathing. Then very quietly, almost like a whisper pressed against the wood. Wrong room. My stomach dropped. Before I could react, the hallway light outside flickered through the gap under the door. And I saw something move. Not a shadow. Feet. Bare feet, standing right outside. Completely still. I didn't open the door. I didn't sleep again that night. At 6 a.m., I left my room. I hadn't slept, and I didn't care. I just wanted out. The hallway looked different in daylight. Less threatening, but not normal. The light still flickered slightly, even though it was morning. I went straight to the front desk. Karen was still there. Same clothes. Same expression. "Did someone knock on my door last night?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. Just stared at the computer screen. Then she said, "No one's assigned to that floor except you." A pause. Then she added, "Housekeeping doesn't go up there anymore." That didn't make sense. "Why not?" I asked. She hesitated again, then finally looked at me. "Because of what happened in 417. My chest tightened. "That's my room." I know. There was something in her tone, that made me regret asking. What happened? I said anyway. She leaned in, slightly lowering her voice. A man stayed there 3 years ago. Business traveler. Normal guy. One night he called the front desk around 3 a.m., said someone was in his room, walking above him. My heart started pounding. He said there was another floor above his. We told him that wasn't possible, but he kept insisting. Said he could hear dragging sounds. Something heavy. I swallowed hard. What happened to him? Karen's face went pale. He disappeared. Silence. They found the room empty the next morning. Bed untouched. Door locked from the inside. I felt cold. And the security cameras? I asked. They showed something, she said slowly. What? She looked me straight in the eyes. He never left the room. I stepped back. That's not possible. That's what we thought too. I didn't wait to hear more. I grabbed my bag and headed for the exit. As I passed the elevator, I noticed something. The panel. There were 5 buttons now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. My stomach dropped. I swear it wasn't there before. The elevator doors opened by themselves. Empty inside. And then I heard it again. That dragging sound. Not from above this time. From inside the elevator. Slow, deliberate, like something was being pulled across the floor toward me. I stepped back immediately. The doors stayed open, waiting. Then I saw it. A faint smear on the elevator floor, like something would have been dragged out and then back in. I turned and walked straight out of the hotel. Didn't look back. Didn't stop. Later that day, I checked online reviews for the Hallbrook Inn. There were only a few. Most were normal, except one, posted 2 weeks before my stay. It read, "Do not stay on the 4th floor. There is no 4th floor." I still have the key card from room 417. Sometimes late at night I hear that same dragging sound again. Not loud, just enough to wake me up. And every time I check the clock, it's always 3:17 a.m. I've moved apartments twice since then. Different cities, different states. But it doesn't matter, because whatever was above me that night, it wasn't part of the hotel, and I don't think it ever was. My name is Martin, and this happened 3 years ago during a work trip in northern Vermont. I had been driving for hours through freezing rain when my GPS cut out. My phone had no signal, and the road ahead was empty. That's when I saw the hotel. It wasn't on my map. A flickering neon sign read Pine Crest Inn. The building looked old, but not abandoned. Just forgotten. The kind of place you'd expect to be closed for good, but somehow still breathing. I told myself I didn't have a choice. Inside it was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of silence that makes your ears ring. The front desk was empty at first. I rang the bell, and after a few seconds a man appeared from a hallway behind the desk. He was tall, pale, and smiling in a way that didn't feel right. "Long night?" he asked. His voice was calm, almost rehearsed. I nodded. "Just need a room. One night." He slid a key across the counter. No paperwork. No ID. Nothing. "Room 214, he said. "2nd floor. End of the hall." I hesitated. "How much?" "Already taken care of." That should have been my first warning. The hallway upstairs smelled damp like old carpet and something faintly metallic. The lights buzzed overhead. Room 214 was at the very end, just like he said. When I opened the door, I immediately noticed the mirror. It faced the bed directly. Large. Too large for the room. The glass looked slightly warped. I don't know how to explain it, but my reflection didn't feel right. Like it was lagging behind me by a split second. I shook it off. I was exhausted. I locked the door, set my bag down, and tried to relax. The TV didn't work. No signal. Just static. My phone was still dead. Around 1:30 a.m., I woke up. I didn't know why at first. Then I heard it. A soft knock. 3 taps. Not on the door. On the wall beside the bed. I froze. Another 3 taps. Slower this time. I sat up staring at the wall. My heart was pounding so loud I could barely hear anything else. Then it stopped. Silence again. I told myself it was pipes. Old buildings make noise. I lay back down. That's when I saw the mirror. My reflection wasn't lying down. It was sitting, staring directly at me. I couldn't move. I couldn't even breathe. My body just locked up. The reflection slowly tilted its head, like it was studying me. Then it smiled. Not my smile. Wider. Wrong. I jumped out of bed, backing away, but the reflection didn't match my movements anymore. It stood up on its own. I remember whispering, "Oh, no, no." The room suddenly felt colder. My breath fogged in front of me. And then I heard it again. 3 knocks. This time, from inside the mirror. I grabbed my bag and rushed to the door. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped the key. I yanked the door open and ran into the hallway. But the hallway wasn't the same. The lights were dimmer, flickering, and the carpet looked darker, stained. At the far end near the stairs, I saw someone standing. It looked like the man from the front desk, but he wasn't moving, just watching. I ran the other way. The hallway stretched longer than it should have. I kept running, but the exit never came closer. My footsteps echoed too loudly, like the space around me had changed. Every door I passed looked identical, except some of them were slightly open. And as I ran by, I swear I saw movement inside. Not people, shapes, watching. I finally stopped, gasping for breath. I turned around. The man from the desk was now closer. He hadn't walked. I never heard footsteps, but he was closer, still smiling. "You weren't supposed to leave your room," he said. His voice echoed, strangely, like it was coming from everywhere at once. "I'm leaving," I stuttered. He tilted his head, same way the reflection did. "You already checked in." That's when I noticed something behind him. More figures, standing in the shadows of the hallway. They weren't clear, but they were human-shaped. Still, silent, watching me. "No," I said, backing away. "I'm not staying here." He took one slow step forward. "You don't understand," he said softly. "No one checks out." My stomach dropped. I turned and ran again, picking a random door and slamming into it. It burst open and I stumbled inside. It was another room, exactly like mine. Same bed, same mirror, but this one already had someone in it. A man sat on the edge of the bed, facing the mirror. His back was to me. "Hey," I shouted. "We need to get out of here." He didn't respond. I stepped closer. "Listen, something's wrong." Then he slowly turned his head, and I saw his face. It was me, but older, pale, eyes sunken, lips cracked like he hadn't spoken in years. "You shouldn't have opened the door," he whispered. His voice sounded like mine, but broken. I stumbled back, hitting the wall. The mirror behind him showed something else. Not the room, not us, just darkness, and shapes moving inside it. Reaching, I felt something grab my arm. I screamed and turned, but there was no one there. When I looked back at the bed, the older version of me was gone. The room was empty, except for the mirror. And now, I wasn't alone in it. Multiple reflections stared back at me, all of them slightly different, all of them smiling. I don't remember how I got out. The next thing I knew, I was sitting in my car on the side of the road. It was morning. My phone had signal again. My clothes were soaked in sweat. I turned around. There was no hotel, just trees. I went back later that week with a coworker. We drove the same road. There was nothing there. No sign, no building. But here's the part that still messes with me. Ever since that night, I avoid mirrors. Because sometimes, not always, but sometimes, my reflection doesn't move right away. And once, I swear, it knocked 3 times from the other side.